I don't know what. I honestly don't know why that's on there. Must have been must have been a nickname from another. Yeah, exactly about it. Uh, so I started in 2008, but I didn't really start making money till about 6 years after. So it took a while to get there. So yeah, been involved probably around 12, 13 years. Let me take a look. There we go. Yeah, strictly strictly stocks for the most part. I get it. Yeah, yeah. It's just I'm so used to just one platform, click in and out, and then just going to having to swap this for that, opening a wallet here, opening a wallet there, use this broker, use that broker. It's just, that's what really turns me away from it a lot of the time. So, but as far as the charts and everything else is pretty much the same crowd psychology. Everything's, all the markets have the same crowd psychology pretty much. So, yeah, yeah. In crypto, yeah, in crypto, definitely. But at the same time, is also nothing that's never been seen before in the stock market. It just happens a lot more often in crypto. These ridiculous, crazy runners and yeah, because it trades 24/7, you get more volatility. Hmm. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is a 4 hour chart. The daily is kind of it's fairly new, so it's pretty short. So before anything else, um, just basically know I'm a short term trader, so I'm usually in and out fairly quickly. You know what you would call a momentum trader. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, once the momentum's in, I'm in, and I'm out before it starts wearing off. So anything I tell you from what I see here, it's basically from a very short term perspective. Um, as far as where it could go in the future, I have no idea. At the end of the day, nobody really knows. But this one's fairly new, uh, and you can clearly see the obvious channel. So one of the things I like to look for is where it starts to encounter supply, and you get some clues. Oh, let me move this up. So we started looking at some clues here. We're at 140 is where it starts to, it starts to break through, but you get some supply, you get some selling in here. You can see this little, anytime you see these little wicks, some selling took place. So the sellers overpowered the buyers basically. So this is where we're at is we're starting to channel between 120 and 140. Um, you can see here is another area. Uh, from here where it goes, it could channel in. Uh, Taking a look at the daily, and like I said, there's just not much data to go by. Um, and another thing is, what's up? Yeah, right. So my personal opinion, and looking at everything else as a whole, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum. Um, I think we're going to be coming in. We're going to slowly be. I'm not going to say we're going to be climbing up this year, because we had such a huge run. Primarily driven by 2020, all the stimulus. People at home trading. Um, so I think that all that run up needs to be digested, right? So again, anything can change this story, right? So any catalyst, like some significant news, can totally change the story. So my guess is, and I like to wait. I like to wait for my for a really good risk reward scenario for me to get into it. That's why I haven't gotten into this. I'm just wired differently. You know what I mean? For the person that believes in the long term picture, uh, the price it's kind of irrelevant. You know you want to focus more on the market cap and then average in add dollar cost average is what they call it. If you're a believer in the long term picture and what it's going to do in the future, then the price of of the token is kind of irrelevant. But in my opinion, I think this goes. It's likely to start coming in and testing one again. Um, Unless we get another bounce, it starts holding because this is strong support. You can tell right here these wicks. So uh, my guess would be is that we break that support, maybe pop in below, maybe kind of try to regain this level, but possibly start going back down and testing one in the short term. That's what I think. So, but that's my trader brain. You know, again, yeah, and like I said, man, like it it's two different things, man. From somebody who's wired like a trader and another one that's wired like an investor. For the and I'll say it again is if you believe in the long term project and the long term picture, the bigger picture, the macro picture of this asset, then you're always better off dollar cost averaging in and not worrying so much about the short term price movements. At the same time, I'm not too familiar with the whole the fact that this provides you back some passive income, right? The additional tokens that it provides you for X amount that you hold. So I don't uh it's just so hard for me to just trust anything. I mean, I got some strong block, right? And I put up what I was really willing to risk, and and I'm getting it. I'm getting the money back, but it's just so hard for me to like just automatically be like, yeah, let me just jump in. You know what I mean? I always like to wait for the best risk reward, but that may not be the same for another person. So yeah, if you have if if you want to go aggressive on something, then you want to do it with an amount that in case because you've seen a lot of these rug pulls just like out of nowhere. So as long as you put in an amount that's not gonna mess up your day, if it just up and disappears, right? Then yeah, it makes sense to put some in some into a more aggressive. Take some out as soon as you're up. As soon as you're getting these returns, especially on these super volatile ones like Titano. I mean, if it starts ripping, man, you just got to take some off the table. But sure, it can go higher, but it's always worse to watch unrealized gains evaporate than to watch the thing keep going after yourself. So that's one of the things that yes, one of the things psychologically you're always better off having the mental capital, your confidence, than to have that confidence crushed. Because then at that point you're in a different state of mind where you're more likely to make mistakes. And so yeah, yeah. 390. Yeah. I think it's one of the reasons why I liked why I took a chance on strong. Again, I'm not, I'm not like crypto technical savvy. My concern wasn't trying to figure out how strong works. Again, I'm wired as a trader. So, but this is a chart that's very technically, how do I say, for lack of a better word, technical friendly, right? Technical analysis, right? You could see, I mean, it respects is the very basic support, resistance. You got your flag here, you got, you know what I mean? So because I could, I think this one goes, yeah, February last year. Right. So one of the main things is again, this is a chart that I could read, right? When I first saw it, I remember when I first found it, it was sitting here like 900 and something like that, and I started telling some people about it. I'm like, well, I'm not, I was about to FOMO. I'm like, no, I'm not going to FOMO in. Obviously, this is not where I would get into a trade, anyways. And I was patient, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I picked up my first. And this is when I told you uh, we picked up our first batch here somewhere, and then I had that Coinbase fiasco when I was about to get some more, but then it started going, and I did not get any more. I waited again, and then and I got some here. I got some more here. Remember, right after I got some, the next day I literally told this happened, and I'm like, oh, we're going to 300, and because I've seen this pattern many times before. I mean, what we have here, if any, above this level, right, 445 ish, all of this right here is just basically uh, people in a losing position, right? And everybody's watching the same level. So what usually happens when this starts getting weak is everybody starts panicking, right? People are going to start cashing out. They're strong, yada yada yada, and you get this little bit of a sell off. So, uh, but anyways, this was a chart that I could read. So it's one of the reasons why I got in because I can read where I'm at and I know where I can get in, I know where I can get out. Not as easy as trading stocks, of course, but again, this is one of the things. I'm just wired so short term. This is just how I see things. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good. I think I still think we're going to hit 300. I mean, again, I've seen this many times, and you could call that a head and shoulders. In the technical world, I don't like to really name them as that. I just see formations. You know what I mean? I see where the crowd is at, and right now, everybody that participated here above this level is you know unless they've already let's see, this is September, October, November, December. So see, again, this is one of those things that might be different with these kind of assets that provide this passive income. So normally I would say, yeah, everybody that bought and held above 448, 445 is in a losing position, right? But then at the same time, everybody everybody that bought from here 3 months out already broke even or likely. Well, no, you got this. Someone might have bought here, so it's when you have that aspect of it, it makes it a little different for me. But again, right, right. You can't cash out, but like I said, people will see this, and if they have some strong, they're gonna cash some out because they're gonna cash some rewards out because they don't want to, let's say you're sitting on 20 strong that you've been accumulating or whatever, and there's a possibility that it goes to 300. You're gonna be inclined to cash out here as opposed to getting a cheaper price for it. But I think with the overall market, I think we're in for a slow grind downwards. You're going to have your occasional pops, but I think we're going to have a slow grind downwards, if not sideways. I don't think we're going to see this madness here this year. And I think if we start seeing 300 and it can't it can't hold, and start to climb back up, and we break this 300, it's going to be, everybody's going to hit the exits. But hopefully by that time we've broken even. So we only got what, like a month and a half or something. Yeah, yeah. I saw some people on YouTube that bought it, 10,000, 8,000, 10,000. It's just when you're up here and you missed it, you're like, oh no, I need to get one before it gets, because what happened is it's confirmation bias, right? You start going in on Twitter, or you start going and start looking at everywhere, and you'll see people talking about, oh, this, if it goes to 2,000, if it goes to 4,000, right? And you start doing all this math in your head, and you start going down this confirmation bias road, and you'd be like, most people, or even, just you start thinking, man, I might as well just get it now before it goes to 2,000. Then I won't be able to get one. So that's pure FOMO, right? And I was thinking the same. I was starting to, when I found it out here somewhere, like right around 800 or so, I was about to do it, but I knew I was having fear of missing out. I was like, well, no, I'm not going to do it. I always have to stop myself. I always have to think, what exactly am I thinking, right? And that's what stops me from, I only take my trades when the odds are in my favor, where I can see where I know I'm going to get screwed at. I want to know where I'm going to get screwed at before I, get in the trade, rather than just come out here and next thing you know, look, this is what I would have eaten up. It would have taken a lot longer. Actually, yeah, it would have taken a lot longer than 3 months to break even. Obviously, if you're brought up here, but so would I pick up some more if it tests 300? No, I would rather wait for it to see if it holds and starts to stabilize. You know, on a chart like this, man, I much rather wait till the chart does this scenario, right? Starts to stabilize, starts to put in a peak, and then puts in another base, like another high, and then I'll participate. I much rather participate here than participate here, right? Where because here, if let me maximize this. This is why charting is your charting's, technical analysis, charting is not going to predict shit, but you know let's say, oh, I got a chance to buy it cheaper, right? You don't know if this is going to get even cheaper, right? So I much rather wait for it to show some strength than to guess, right? I rather pay a higher price, because enjoying the momentum that's already there than to just guess. You know what I mean? So the same scenario here. If this thing starts to, slowly taper off down here, is it going to break 300? Is it going to bounce? I don't know. It might break, bounce, and then just head back up. But I'd much rather wait for the momentum to come in, join that momentum, than just guess. there a minimum? Is there a min- Um, so I don't know anything about drip to be honest. I mean the chart obviously it's in a clear uptrend, but I don't know much about it, man. I really I don't understand why I can't pull this one up on like trading view. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I mean, as far as the line chart goes, I mean, there's not much I can say other than it's just it's uptrending. Maybe it's done a little lower low, but with the whole compounding aspect, I'm not too familiar with how it's going to affect how it affects the pricing. I don't know how you're able to. Can you cash out whenever you want, not your initial investment but your rewards, or if you reinvest them, can you take them out, or no, they're right back in? See, no, every time, like I said, man, I'm so wired with I need to know where my risk and is coming from, right? And with these things, I find it so hard to just okay, where am I gonna? Where's the risk? I don't understand them. I just don't understand. Right, right. No, and and I've tried to, I've spent time understanding the whole aspect of the recompounding and all that stuff, but it just still doesn't give me, and that's one of the reasons that keeps me from getting into it. Is just I don't know where my risk is going to come from. Like, so the only reason I'm just holding strong, once that starts paying out, then I'll use that to reinvest in other with the rewards as soon as I pull my initial investment out. It's just I just don't understand it enough. It's like with trading, I know where my risk is. I can gauge what the likelihood of a company is, to come out with an offering, or based on the float size, I can gauge how explosive the stock can get. Or what the headline risk is, and I'm in and out. With this stuff, it's just like you got to swap this, you got to swap that, and if there's a rug pull, you know what I mean? I can, yeah, yeah, I can protect myself from a rug pull in the market, or minimize it very quickly. But here it's just like by the time you try to do anything, that's it. So that's the one thing that just kind of I can't say scary, but I'm not wild like that. But at least I got into strong, which is the one I think at least is more solid than what I've seen out there. It's just like Titano. It's crazy, man. That thing is just Yeah, no, that's the crazy part. There's no chart reading on this. I mean, there's it's kind of well, I mean, just look at yeah. This is what starting November. So I mean, like you got these crazy drops, and then just these rebounds, and then these crazy drop, and then this rebounds. I don't know how it works, man. I don't know. And I listened to one of the AMAs, and it was just like it reminded me of Trevor Milton, the guy. If you don't know who Trevor Milton is, uh, that's the guy that took Nikola public um, hydrogen trucks, and he turned out to be. Oh, you should look up the story. uh, yeah. Uh, Again, I'm not saying anything bad about. I don't understand the project, and it's just for me. This is why it's just so sketchy for me to just even put any money in it. But again, remember, remember I found this thing and I told you about it like around 8 cents, and you just jump right on it, and immediately this thing just just shot through the roof, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna wait. I was like out here. I was like, I'm gonna wait. I'm not just gonna jump in it, and then it just kept shooting up, and I'm like, man. And then oh, that's another one that I was doing some chart reading on, and it was just like, well, normally what would happen is after those two big candles, you'd have a break, but nope, straight up. So I don't know, is the price action organic? No, definitely not. So because I wow, yeah, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'd wait for a dip, um, and maybe a little. See, that's another thing is you got to look at these charts. A lot of times it takes a couple months for the chart to form before the big move. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what this one's crazy. But like if you look at back, like for example, at Strong, it took several months before the big move. You know what I mean? I started stabilizing, and it kind of does this, this sideways price action. I like to wait for that. You know what I mean? When it starts getting ahead of itself, I'm like, I'll just hold off. I'd rather wait. And so yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out on this one, and maybe I'll throw a little bit of money on Libero. But you know, it just right now, it's just for me, it makes no sense to buy it right there. But yeah, it could be one of these things that goes crazy too, man. 5, 10, 20 cents. I mean, look at Titano. I mean, what was it? 0.008, and then in like in no time, that's crazy, dude. It's crazy. When does that? Uh, when does it come out? Yeah, I'm sure. Which one's that? Which one is it? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And see, that's the thing, man. It's just like it's one of those things where it's like, uh, what are the odds that that one's gonna do what this one did, and you just kind of waste your time and money, you know? Easier said, easier said than done. But yes, yeah, yeah. It's just always that the one rule I go by: when everybody starts coming in, it's time to start getting out. You know, what I mean, we start. Yeah. Wait, what is it? You how much you put in, and you get how much back? That's pretty cool. There's some. There's some. You want my profession? You want my professional opinion? I don't know. But again, it's the same thing. If it's money that's not gonna ruin you. If it goes away, and then you're not gonna bat an eye. If it's not gonna mentally mess you up, then yeah, sure, you got to split among different projects. Yeah, I don't see. Mhm. Yep, it's all that's what it comes down to, man. You don't want to be you don't want to take a lot. Like I was listening to the AMA in Titano, and one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I have an entire year's worth of salary in there," and he's wondering where the project going or something to that nature. And I was just like, if this thing goes away, you're going to be emotionally destroyed. You're not going to be able to, for a long time at least, be able to have the confidence to get back in and invest again. So that's one of huge, super important things, man, is just not put yourself in a position where you're gonna destroy your confidence. Is it still going, or what's the deal with it? That's cool. No, man. Yeah, so hope everybody has a great day.